There you're watching BNS on the stock game right here on ET now. It's a brand new week with brand new experts playing the game. I'm Devina Menon.
Morning everyone, I'm Avan the Bas. Of course, last week it was Shardul Kulkarni who went away as the winner of BNS on the stock game. The three new experts who are going to battle it out this week. First, let's run you through what the stock game is all about. We give a notional amount of 5 lakh rupees to 3 analysts to create a portfolio, and they join in from Monday right up until Friday. And they have to choose 4 stocks in their portfolio. A compulsory turn of 2 stocks is required every single day, and only 1 stock can be selected from the F&O space. In case a target is achieved on a stock or a stop loss has been triggered, they must compulsorily change those new stocks and replace them with another one. Also, you do have all of our experts who will be joining in live from 11 to 11:30 every day from Monday up until Friday. And it's on Friday that we declare who has made the most money on that notional amount of 5 lakh rupees. So let's introduce our guests who are joining in this time around. We've got Gaurang Shah, who is with us. He's already been a winner once of the stock game. Deepak Mahoney, as well as Rajat Bose, who is joining in, who has also been a winner in the previous week. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for joining in this time around on BNS and the stock game. We'll start off with you, Gaurang. Given that you have been triumphant in the game, is there a particular strategy that you're adopting? And run us through your 4 stock picks.
Well, I guess, it's been quite a choppy market, and you've seen the kind of opening that we had this morning. We're able to sustain that. Basically, we've been trying to track the news which is in the focus. For example, say Sagoa, because of the blanket ban. I guess the numbers are also not really great. But this call is purely from a short-term point of view. As a disclosure, we are positive on Sagoa from a long-term point of view. So I've gone short on Sagoa, buying into IGL, Indian Gas Limited. Numbers unfold today. And I'm expecting the numbers to be better than what the state is expecting. ITC and ICICI Bank. These 3 stocks are on the long side.
All right, 3 stocks on the long side and 1 short, which is, of course, Sagoa. We've got, remember, we have the mining ban for the Bellary district as well, so which is going to impact GSW, Steel, NMDC, and Sagoa and the like. Let's go across now to find out all of Rajat's picks in today's session. Rajat, go on to you and your 4 stocks.
My 4 stocks are all long positions. Considering that the market is sparking up today after the debt deal being clinched out there. I've chosen ICICI Bank and Axis Bank from the banking sector, and Bharti and Idea from the telecom sector. All are long side positions. My first pick is ICICI Bank. 1036.75 is the entry point, and I'm looking at a target of 1078. ICICI Bank on Friday posted a good good price activity on that day, and so my feeling is that this price level of 1078 is likely to be reached this week. That's why I've chosen that, and 1024 is my stop loss.
Okay, that's all long calls coming in for Rajat Bose. Deepak Mahoney then finally, and Deepak, you have every reason to smile. 3 target prices have been hit, but run us through your picks with the targets and the stop losses.
Well, I too have gone with 4 longs. Basically, the market today was going to depend entirely on what happens in the U.S. and the U.S. as expected has resolved its differences, the 2 parties, and there is a rally, so all 4 longs. Otherwise, I would have had a couple of shorts at least given the way the market finished on Friday. And the reason for the triggers being hit, really the targets being hit, is because I've put the targets rather closer than Gaurang or Rajat have. They have basically gone for, sort of take the money and run quickly and then wait for another day. So that's really been the strategy here. The profit targets have been roughly 2.5% for the non-futures positions, which are in United Phosphorus, Bata and Idea, and the long position exactly the same as Rajat's Axis Bank futures.
All right, so 4 long calls there. Like Rajat, a fully long portfolio. But let's quickly run you through the calculator place of all of our 3 experts and how it stands at this current point in time. Remember, it's just day 1 and just the first half of the trading session, so you never know when tables can turn. But that's Gaurang Shah's portfolio in the green across the board, making the most from a Sagoa, which went short. He's making 8,000 rupees at this point. Coming to Rajat Bose and his portfolio, his is also a pleasant size, and he's got green across the board. He's making almost 2% on his overall portfolio as of now for 10,800 rupees, almost 11,000 rupees. And the leader at this point in time, we've got the targets, majority of the targets getting hit for Deepak. So he is making good money on a United Phosphorus, Ivor Cellular, overall 2.5%. That's about 13,000 rupees that he is making. We'll go across and find out why they've picked out each and every individual stock in the portfolio. Before that, let's get into one more management to discuss not just the quarter one numbers, but also two acquisitions that the company has planned and the funding requirements for the future, and that is Action Construction Equipment. We've got the management joining us, the ED, Saurabh Agarwal, is joining us right now on the show. Mr. Agarwal, thanks very much for being with us. A good set of quarter one numbers, would you say? Could you highlight what the key contributors have been?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
We have been able to grow decently well enough in this quarter, and our top line has grown by about 65%, and similarly bottom line has tagged along at 40%. It could have been slightly better. On the whole, leading the thing is again our mobile cranes, which we have been able to grow reasonably well as compared to the last quarter. And our new products, tower cranes and crawler cranes, are also picking up a lot of traction right now in the market. So hopefully things are going great, and we look forward to maintaining similar top line growth.
Mr. Agarwal, why has your margin come under pressure this time around? Almost 200 basis points is the pressure that we're seeing.
Yeah, it is primarily due to increase in raw material costs, overall costs that have been going up. Apart from that, there's definitely pressure on manufacturing costs, especially I would say logistics and freight costs, whether incoming or outgoing goods. They are under pressure because of overall increase in transportation costs. And as of now, we've already started pushing in a price increase from beginning of July onwards. So hopefully by end of or middle of August, end of August, our price realization will increase. That we will pass on all the increased costs to the customer.
Right, barring that price increase that you're looking at in the month of July, how else do you plan to deal with those high raw material costs which have almost doubled this time around?
You see, raw material is again a function of selling price, and like I said, as a matter of fact, we're also working on reducing the raw material costs because of late recently steel prices have started cooling off, which are a major contributor to our cost. So on the steel, because of the steel front, we will be able to manage some cost, our raw material cost reduction. Apart from that, we are pushing our sale price increase. So on the whole, we are looking at a 2-3% gain by end of August.
Mr. Agarwal, when you spoke about price hikes and by the end of August you will see realizations also increasing, how much do you think is the improvement going to be in realizations with the kind of price hikes that you've taken?
Yeah, we have pushed with a price increase of 2 to 3% across all our product segments.
Right, and finally, Mr. Agarwal, there are two companies that you're looking to acquire, one in India and one in China. If you could just shed some more light on what they do and what the investment rationale is for the same.
Yeah, you see, currently we are looking, we are already in talks and in advanced stage with a couple of companies, one outside India, that is in China. That company is in a similar product line that we're already doing. So rather than expanding capacity in India, we want to do it in China. Even the product is technologically much more superior as compared to what is produced in India as of now. So, and we do have a captive market in India. So hopefully we should be able to grow that company at a much faster pace in times to come. Similarly, there's a company in India which is in similar product segment, but we are not doing that as of now. And it's in a niche segment, and there's a lot of demand for that product. And that company is already doing more capex to increase capacity. So if everything goes well, perhaps the revenue of that company, if everything goes well, and if we are able to finally conclude a deal, then hopefully we can also develop the revenue of that company in 1.5 years.
Sure. And what's the investment outlay for these acquisitions?
Yeah, totally combined should be somewhere between 100 to 120 crores.
All right. And so this will be funded internally? You have funds with you?
Yeah, we do have cash available with us. Apart from that, we are a debt-free company, so we'll also exercise that option. And yes, if the stock price is considerate, we might even look at raising some money through a QIP or something.
All right, Mr. Agarwal, thanks very much for joining in. So possibly could see some fundraising plans, good set of numbers, but margins under some pressure, but have already incorporated price hikes to see the effect and better realizations come at the end of August. But McNally Bharat should pull that up. An order went from Bhavnagar Energy of 109 crore rupees. That's the quantum of the order from Bhavnagar Energy. The stock price, after taking, has come off the high there. 155 is where it's currently trading at, higher by about 1%. All right, let's shift focus from that now and concentrate on the stock game, which all of you all are waiting for, and to know why each of our experts have picked out individual stocks. Let's start off first with you, Gaurang. IGL is coming out with its numbers today. The expectation is that the net profit is expected to rise 32% You also expecting good results because of which the stock could react, and therefore you've chosen this one as a buy?
Yes, that's quite right. And I guess this is one stock, even if you see in a bad market, IGL has been performing quite well. I think the stock has recently made a new 52-week high on fallback of numbers. Stock trading at I think close to about 410 or 12 right now. Kept an intraday target of about 425 and a stop loss about 398 if I'm not mistaken. I guess there is tremendous amount of buying interest coming in. And the entire, gas and gas distribution sector looks very, very attractive and promising, given the fact that the crude oil prices in the international market just refuse to cool off, and we've seen a sustained upside. So, I think as an alternative fuel also, gas is going to be, the theme going forward. So, we have recommended it from a short to medium term, including Indraprastha Gas. I think stocks like GSPL, Petronet LNG, Gujarat Gas, I think these stocks also be kept on the radar.
All right, expecting a robust set of numbers from NIGL. Gaurang has it as a buy call with a target at 425. Rajat, here's a favorite in your portfolio, ICICI Bank. Fairly good set of numbers. NIMs did come down by about 10 basis points, but the loan book did see quite a good expansion. What's the indication on the charts, and do you think that it emerges as a better pick compared to an HDFC Bank even?
Personally, I hold HDFC Bank in my portfolio, but if you look at the current chart position, at least in the short term, ICICI Bank looks good. In fact, on Friday, it closed 19 points higher, and it clocks the volume at the NSE, which is, 35-day high in terms of absolute numbers in volume. So that means that it has actually attracted a lot of buying interest on that day. And I expect this upswing to continue, and that's why I've chosen a target of 1,078 if I'm not mistaken. I wasn't really expecting it to fall below 990, and close to about 1,000 was a real good buying opportunity. Even on Friday, I indicated that. And I'm pretty bullish on this stock. This stock is likely to move up. That's why I've chosen this counter. Put a stop loss below 1,024, because below that, it becomes slightly weak.
Right, stop loss below 1,024, and ICICI Bank looks good in terms of an upside momentum. Deepak, you've also chosen a big large cap bank, but an Axis Bank is what you've selected. It's higher by 1.5% today at 1360. What's the call?
I was looking for stocks which closed at their best on Friday because those would be reasonably good candidates for continuing where they left off in favorable market conditions. And this was one of the stocks that closed absolutely at its day's high. That's why it's been picked up, and it's a futures contract, taking advantage of the leverage with a pretty tight, not a stop loss, but a target, which I think has been hit already earlier in the day. So the idea was to just book profits at close to the beginning of the session, assuming stocks open strong. I see that my strategy, we have picked all three of us have picked up a great degree of overlapping stocks, but I think the difference here is that I've put very close targets, and they have taken deeper targets. So if the market should be finishing at where it began, then I would be expecting to finish in the third place. Otherwise, it stays pretty much as it is.
All right, so that's certainly working in favor of Deepak Mohani. Lots of stocks overlapping, but the target price has been achieved at a level of 1360 for the Axis Bank futures. It's the defensive that you have a bit of a bend towards, Gaurang, and in terms of results also, ITC was one that did well compared to its peers such as an HUL or even a Colgate. What's the trend like for the company going forward?
I think quite strong, and in fact, quite pleased with the numbers compared to, if you want to just do a fair comparison to Hindustan Unilever. I think ITC tends to perform a little bit better and has been maintaining, about 200, 210 kind of mark. Given the kind of robust growth going forward, of course, we do expect ITC to do much better than what Hindustan Unilever will. From that point of view, I guess of course, playing a little bit defensive given the fact that you have seen huge volatility in the market in the last week, and of course, with the kind of momentum that we have today, I guess sectors like FMCG, especially ITC in that, will definitely do better. So I'm expecting a target of about 216 by the time we close today.
All right. Just stay on with us, gentlemen. One more set of numbers which we have to address right now. And numbers have come out. Kali Consultants, Q5 FY11, quarter-on-quarter numbers. Revenues have come in at 43.8 crore rupees versus 48.58 crore rupees, and even the net profit numbers took a dip of about to come in at 3.1 crore rupees versus 5 crore rupees earlier on. We've got the management joining us. Mr. Vipul Jain, the MD of Kali Consultants, joins us right as we discuss the numbers in greater detail. Mr. Jain, thanks very much for being with us. Could you explain the dip in revenue as well as profitability for the quarter?
Well, actually, if you look at the revenue for the corresponding quarter last year, then it's not a dip. It is an increase of 3% from 43.5 crores to 44.8 crores. Also, the revenue in this quarter is without logistics because during the year we had actually divested the logistics business. So if you take that into account, then the revenue growth is slightly higher. As far as profitability is concerned, this year, there has been, as a result of our becoming part of the Australia group, there have been an accounting policy change on a variety of factors like depreciation, etc. So they make the comparison a little difficult between last year and this year because the numbers are not really comparable. But overall, I would say that if one factors those into account, then the overall profitability is similar to last year.
Sure. Mr. Jain, when you spoke about Australia, you were working towards go-to-market strategy with Australia. Could you give us a sense of how big this could be in terms of the overall deal as well, deal pipeline for yourself?
See, what we are doing is that between Australia and Kali, we are integrating to some extent the front end, right, the customer-facing team, so that as far as the customer is concerned, they have one person to talk to for the solutions from both Australia and Kali. Right? So it becomes easier for customers to do business with the entire group. And of course, what happens is that effectively the sales team doubles, right? Because Australia's sales team as well as Kali's sales team, both of them, will have a more intense coverage, right, of the market. So this, this is the integration which will come into effect from this financial year. And along with that, we are also thinking about how do we, go to customers with a wider portfolio, right?
That would include what kind of services? Sure. Mr. Jain, so there was an indication that, there'll be new services that could be offered, in order to widen the portfolio as a whole. What kind of services are we talking about and what is the revenue potential of the same?
See, we are looking at introducing services for the miscellaneous billing, right, which for airlines is becoming a significant part of their revenue. So there's a solution there that we have introduced. We are also looking at how the information from the financial systems can be used for decision making by the commercial departments, right? So the business intelligence, decision support type tools that commercial departments of airlines might require. So these are the new areas in which we are creating services.
Right, Mr. Jain, and you recently sold 49% stake also to Synterios Technologies to Techsoft. Has that been included in the quarter 5 numbers or will it be accounted for in Q1?
It will be accounted for in Q1.
And if you could just throw some light on the margin picture and how it's expected to move?
See, our overall, if you look at this quarter, right, then our overall margins after tax are 6.9%, right, of the revenues. Historically, if you look at the corresponding quarter a year ago, it was about 12%. And as I mentioned to you, a lot of this is due to certain accounting policy changes and the impact of those. Moving forward, I think we'll be at the same margin or better than what we were a year ago, right? So in the teens.
All right, Mr. Jain. Thanks very much. We'll leave it at that. So that's Kali Consultants talking about a change in the policy. That is why it resulted in the kind of results. They will be maintaining margins at these levels, lower by just about 0.3% in the session. All right, let's discuss the second stock in each of their portfolios. You've got a Bharti Airtel Rajat, which emerges as a buy call. Throw light on why you've placed a target of about 448 on it.
Target on Bharti Airtel is mostly derived technically, and I feel that Bharti is actually showing considerable strength. In fact, the kind of momentum that it is showing, it suggests that close to a target of 450 could be achieved. That's why I just kept it short of 450, kept it at 448, but my calculations were tad higher than the intraday high. That's why I have not been as lucky as Deepak, who have already booked his profits in 3 counters. Maybe I was a bit too greedy out there, but I still believe that 450 can be achieved by Bharti either today or tomorrow. Whether I make good profit here or not, that's a separate question. But Bharti definitely shows a lot of buying momentum, and now the fundamental experts who a year back, when we were recommending Bharti from technical point of view, was saying regarding them to be pariah stocks, are finding that all the bad things are over. Telecom should be re-rated.
Sure. Right. Deepak, just doesn't come back to you for your stock. Federal Bank, the numbers came out, start of about 146 crore rupees versus 132 crore rupees. We've got the management, PC John, the ED and CFO Federal Bank, who's joining us right now on the phone line from Kochi to discuss the numbers. Mr. John, thanks very much for being with us. Could you give us the highlights of the quarter gone by in terms of your net profit, which has jumped about 11 odd percent?
So our income grew by 38%. Total income grew by 38%. Our net interest margin, in spite of the very tough environment, our net interest margin is 3.87% during the quarter. And there was a YOY growth in deposits of almost 23% and a growth of 18% in advances. The net NPA is at 0.74%.
Are you expecting your net interest margins to remain stable here? Will you be able to maintain them in going forward?
Going forward also, we expect that the net interest margin can be maintained at around the 3.80%.
Right, Mr. John, given the gross NPAs inched up by about 25% this time around, the asset quality of the bank did slip. What's the outlook going forward?
Going forward, we expect a steady reduction in NPAs, and by the end of this year, we expect that the gross NPAs will come to around 3% or slightly below 3%.
Mr. John, could you comment on the credit growth?
Already, and the steady reduction is expected.
All right. Could you comment on the credit growth, Mr. John? For Federal Bank, while the RBI has indicated that credit growth is going to be about 18 odd percent, what is your own internal target for Federal Bank for the fiscal?
The internal estimate for credit growth for the current year is 18 to 20%. 18 to 20%. All right.
Mr. John, could you also let us know in terms of the overall provisioning ratio, where do you stand as of now? And could you give us a sense of what it could look like in the future? Are you looking to provide for more?
Pardon?
Provisioning ratio, Mr. John.
Provision?
Yeah.
Provision, we always maintain a high provision coverage. We have a provision coverage of more than 80%, which we have been maintaining consistently. And going forward also, we intend to maintain this high provision coverage of over 80% on our NPAs.
Right, and you did mention the deposit growth of about 23%, but could you tell us what kind of growth you see in advances in the next 2 to 3 quarters?
The full year we expect 18 to 20%. So, based on quarter to quarter, some proportion increase will be there.
Right, Mr. John, thanks very much for joining in and running us through the highlights of the quarter gone by. So that's a Federal Bank which had the NIM slipping to a level of about 3.8%. Deposits growing at 23. The stock down in today's session. Deepak, sorry to have interrupted you there, but it was a United Phosphorus that you've got as a buy call.
It's an interesting stock. A good thing about it is it doesn't correlate very much to the market. So even if the market were to have reversed today, there was a reasonably good chance it would have continued on an uptrend that it's been on fairly steadily since the 20th. So it was just banking on the stock continuing where it left off on Friday. And as I said before, a pretty decent uptrend. It's at a multi-month high. A good chance of continuing. And it was not going down with the market in the last couple of weeks.
All right, gentlemen, stay on with us. We will slip into a very quick break, but do come back. We'll discuss stock number 3 and stock number 4 with August'11. Hardik. Welcome back. You're watching BNS, the stock game right here on ET now. And we've got stocks number 3 and 4 to discuss with our experts right here. Let's take the third one then in Gaurang's portfolio. Tata Goa is what a sell call. He's got that one and he's making good money on that stock. Remember, all of the stocks have been beaten down quite badly post the mining ban in Bellary districts, be it an NMDC, Tata Goa, or even for that matter, JSWC. Remember, City has downgraded JSWC as well. But Tata Goa working well for you, Gaurang.
Definitely, and I guess, with the kind of numbers also that the company, I think, unfolded about a week or a fortnight back, did not look really impressive. And, with this blanket ban that has come into, I guess, the top line numbers are definitely going to look a little bit shaky, and of course, thereby affecting the profitability, at least from a short-term point of view. Had a target about 265 on the downside, and that's the sell call that I had given on Sesagova. I don't know if it was achieved or not. But I am quite positive that as the day goes by, I think you will have some amount of unwinding pressure on the Sesagova since it has broken those levels of 270, 275, which it was holding out quite smartly. So I think 265 could be very well achieved by the time we end the day today.
In fact, the target price has been achieved on a Sesagova, Gaurang, for that stock. So good going on that. The second telecom stock, Rajat, that you've got in your portfolio includes an Idea Cellular. Very strong uptrend on the charts. How much more headroom?
There is still some more headroom left, at least 98, 99 is the first technical target for Idea Cellular, and after that 105 would be the next target, and I'm expecting a medium-term target of about 135, 130 to 135 for Idea Cellular. The stock looks quite good. In fact, after Bharti in the telecom space, this is the second strongest counter.
All right, that's an Idea Cellular after Bharti there. And a good upside move in today's session. Deepak, on to you then. Bata, and good set of numbers. Management also pretty positive on what their big expansion plans will be for the brand. What's the sense? How much more upside on the charts at least for Bata?
Well, the stock is in a very persistent uptrend now since the start of the year practically, and it's making all-time new highs. I think it's also been picked probably for the game by several other people several times since the game began in these 13 weeks. So popular stock with the market, and again a good close on Friday, so it's been picked up. The chances are the stock could have pretty good upside as time goes on because the market has not really become very bullish yet, but in the long term. But Bata is making new highs, so this could be a very good stock to hold at the moment.
All right, a good stock to hold. Bata India coming in from Deepak's portfolio. ICICI Bank, that's a stock that Rajat had, Gaurang. He spoke of a target of 1,078. Yours is at 1,065. What are the fundamentals indicating?
Well, I guess I'm a little bit less greedy than what Rajat is, as he rightly mentioned. But again, over here, in this kind of a choppy market, I think it is prudent, and that's what Deepak has actually done. Keep your profit margins very, very small instead of being more greedy. So I guess that's a lesson to learn. Well, on the fundamentals, I think, let me give you a disclosure over here. Amongst the private sector frontline banks, ICICI Bank is one of our top picks, and we expect the stock to perform very, very well. Numbers may be a little bit disappointment for some, but we expect the next quarters to unfold quite strongly for ICICI Bank. And since we are living in a scenario with high interest rates, I guess another hike maybe in the next review by RBI could be it. And then the RBI could pause. That's where we feel that there will be a lot of positivity coming out and emerging for the banking stock, especially the private sector banks, not the PSU. We are very much bullish that private sector will actually outperform the PSU lot. So ICICI Bank with a target about 1,065, if I'm not mistaken, is the target on the upside, and I think my stop loss about 1,022.
All right, tongue-in-cheek statement, Rajat, for you from Gaurang on an Axis Bank. We got Deepak, whose target got hit on that one. We've got a higher target on Axis Bank from you. Why did you choose this one as your target, and particularly Axis Bank? Why did you choose it?
See, I went for Axis Bank showed kind of a flat breakout on Friday, and the target that Deepak has kept, it served him well. I mean, provided of course the market doesn't move up very strongly. Otherwise, Axis Bank, even 1400 is a target that is pretty much conservative. In fact, one can actually push a technical target to something like 1420 if not higher to about 1450. And the chart position is very encouraging, especially after today's trading. I mean, it has been moving up with good volume, posted good set of numbers, everything going for it. And I feel that my stop losses are pretty close. I mean, just like Deepak. In that case, if I go wrong, I'll lose a little bit of money. But if I'm right, then I will make some good money. It is good fun that way. That's why I have been greedy on the first day. Maybe I'll do some exercise on wet loss the last day.
All right. That's Sri Rangarajan talking to the media. Let's cut across.